Welcome in. This is your odds checker betting preview for this week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, Geoff Fienberg. Another no-cut small field event this week. Jeff, we had one for the Olympic Games last week in Tokyo. We almost got two Americans on the podium. I know that might not be something you care about as a Canadian, but it's Xander Schauffele who ends up donning the gold medal when all is said and done.
Heartfelt congratulations to Xander. I don't think the gold was more important to Xander after the fact because he won. Anyone that follows Xander closely knows how much this medal meant to him and his family. I'm looking forward to Paris in 2024, Rick. And by the time we're in Los Angeles in 2028, I believe players will be at a fever pitch to qualify like we've never seen before for what will be the fourth iteration of Olympic Games golf. And my other major takeaway was the coverage. It was phenomenal. It showed us kind of what is possible. It showed us kind of maybe what we aren't getting. We were serviced. We were serviced properly. We're tickled in the right spots.
Riviera in 2028 is going to be absolutely special stuff. And hey, you never know. We might get special stuff in Memphis this week because a lot of those guys are making the trek back. All the Americans are. A lot of the notables from the field last week in Tokyo are playing in Memphis this week, Jeff. And it is Brooks Koepka, who is your betting favorite. William Hill has him at 12-1. Same at Bet365 if you're looking at the odds checker grid. He is accompanied by Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and I'll even throw in Jordan Spieth into the top of the board. What do you make of these guys here at the top?
The first thing I made at when I saw this board, Rick, is it's a new day. I mean, a lot of golf fans have sort of been calling for this, and we know how volatile it all is. You would have said in November, like, DJ will never lose again or whatever. You know, everyone has their ups and downs, but golf fans have sort of been calling for the books to give Brooks their respect, although I'm sure they miss getting those 2022s when everyone gets together. And Colin Morikawa, I mean, what an ultimate sign of respect, finally, to now be the placeholder as the favorite, not just in an Olympic small field event, but a true, PGA Tour sanctioned WGC. So that was my first takeaway. I'm going to skip this entire part of the board a little bit higher. I'm scared of Brooks. Was on him last year, like many. We caught that T2 here. He's won here. He's finished second. He seems to be so dialed in. He seems to be healthy, back on Bermuda. So a lot of signs do point to Brooks. Tempted to play a really small card that involved Brooks. But I don't know. There's just a couple more names and maybe I see a little more value that I'm going to try to squeeze out of this one.
Yeah, the 20-1 and shorters are a little bit tough. You're right. Your card would have to be very short if you go that route. I'm probably a bit partial to Jordan Spieth for all the magic beans about the short game and the approach and how good he's been. It's the fact that he's not losing strokes off the tee ever anymore that is keeping him in a lot of these events. But I, too, have skipped this because there's some really appealing numbers coming up here. We can start with Justin Thomas at 18-1, Dustin Johnson at 20. I don't think I want anything to do with those, but you get into Rory McIlroy at 20, Jeff. Daniel Berger, a guy who has destroyed TPC Southwind, 22-1, or we can go, I don't know, maybe a little Vic Hovland at 25-1.
Yeah, a lot of names that are on my radar. I will be honest. 3 of those guys are guys I'm sort of circling around at the moment. Dustin Johnson, I do think there could be an opportunity there, Rick. I feel like a lot of his struggles have been overblown because he's been on the precipice of contending, but really just like backing up big time, whether it be in major championships or even his Palmetto Saturday that you probably felt you need to watch the weekend. But I feel like there'll be no run up for him. It's just going to be straight back to the winner's circle, and he's dominated here before with a great career finishes. Berger as well, and Victor Hovland. So those are the 3 guys that I am circling. The book's really keen on Berger, not just the course history, but time and time again from the Players Championship to the US Open to the Open Championship. This guy is just racking up fantastic finishes when the best in the world get together. So a course fit and a guy that always seems to be answering the bell right now. And Victor in Berger and Hovland for me. I mean, I keep going back to this, but the fact that he won in Germany the week after withdrawing from the US Open is something I might really be clinging to, as I want to convince myself that the guys who were in Tokyo last week are okay to step in front of if you have the right feeling. And certainly Victor Hovland checks all those dominant TPC historical trends to victory boxes. And like you, Rick, sometimes I can't quit that guy.
I can't quit him. I just can't. He's got all the skills. He's got the winning acumen. I think he's special. I can't quit him. He's 25-1 across the board. There is a 27-1 hanging on Bryson DeChambeau. Geoff, without looking up, has got to be some of the longest odds we've seen on him in recent memory. I can't think of a longer. Did he hit 30?
The Open. Yeah, no one really wanted him at the Open, but you are right. On American soil, to be fair, that number is huge. I'm happy you brought that up because I think that's a very fair talking point to make. Who are the last three guys that have won here? Was it Justin Thomas? Is it Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson?
Yeah, but DJ's those are the only two. Brooks and JT are the only two at this course. This will be the third year for the WGC.
So let's just leave it at those. At Brooks and Justin Thomas won here. To me, that's like all I need to know that like Brooks or Bryson can win here, and as well as liking Dustin as well. Like, I don't know, there's a trend there that I would have no issues with that, and maybe that's something I really need to sleep on, because I believe a lot of his struggles have been grossly overblown, and I believe he will come. Like, I'll believe he'll be so fully tuned, both equipment and men. I don't know. So certainly equipment wise, when he steps back on a golf course, when you have those hubbubs, like whether they're public or private, in the end, both sides work so hard to sort of zone back in again. And we know how hard Bryson works under great circumstances. And I promise you that team at Cobra put in extra hours to get him as tuned in and comfortable as he can possibly be.
That 27-1 number is coming from FanDuel. That's the best number on the odds checker grid. I'm a bit partial to Patrick Cantlay. He's 28-1 at BetMGM. He's a guy who, outside of the 4 weeks that he couldn't putt, has been dominant, was setting course records. He's got a trophy on the mantle. So I'm a bit partial to Cantlay, and he kind of starts that end of the 20 into the 30s, Geoff, where you can get a Scotty Scheffler, you can get a Paul Casey, you can get a Matt Fitzpatrick, or even a Patrick Reed if that entices you. Is there anybody in this next tier of golfers that you are laser focused on?
The way I'm looking like I'm going to build my card this week, Rick, I'm not in this range. I might do a total skip. But I mean, you look at the last 16 winners of WGCs, you take out match play because there's so much volatile. It can be so volatile in how that thing breaks out. It's literally like just a cavalcade of superstars. Yeah. So if I'm wrong, like, I have no issues with any of those guys you mentioned, but I wouldn't be really thinking about going much farther. I'm kind of hoping you can talk me into someone. There's somebody I do like, but I don't like anybody really as we go down this thing. And I am going to stick with, if like just the historical precedent that WGCs have given us. If I swing and I miss, I'll have to take it on the chin. But that's the lane I'm sticking in. Probably a small, powerful card, to be perfectly honest.
And history says that's the way to go. Let me try two cracks at 50 for you. There is one on Harris English, which this needs to be shopped. Bet365 has him at 50. Some other places have him at 28. So you're going to need to shop that. Check out the grid. And the other is Terrell Hatton, also at 50-1. So the case for, where do you want me to start? You want the Hatton case or you want the English case?
Yeah, listen, I got the English case from Mayo today. He cashed me a ticket a couple weeks ago at No Slouch Field at the Travelers. He's got that no cut one. And Hatton, I'm trying to find a case. So sell me on Hatton, because I don't need to be sold on English. I actually that makes a ton of sense to step out above sort of 40 in that 50-1 range. He would probably be my favorite, but sell me on Hatton, a guy I've bet and lost a lot on.
Yeah, the Hatton one I'm a little uncomfortable with, but the number's super long in this field for a guy who I think he's 11th on tour in strokes gained approach. His last two results have been miscuts, both major championships. You can say what you will about major championships. We are like 3 starts removed from him finishing runner-up in South Carolina. We're like 5 starts removed from another top 10. It's just not as bad as I think the public sentiment around Tyrrell Hatton is. And if you think about, hey, when the best players get together, he's got the experience. He's won an API. He's won on the European Tour multiple times. I just think this number is too long, especially when you start comparing it to the winning acumen of the other golfers in this range.
I would totally agree. Within this range, he certainly stands out, especially at some of the prices. If you did want to bet him, you were forced to bet him at premier events recently. Yeah, that's a talking point maybe for Hatton. Majors have not been kind to him, but he's been good. And if he can avoid that first round hiccup that he's had in some events where he's had great finishes in the end, yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't know, though, if I'm going to have units to spare by the time I figure things out.
So is there anybody else here? I mean, we could talk about a Sergio Garcia at 70-1 over at Bet365. Are we done this card? Have we completed this?
I, like many, took that early Monday plunge on Sergio. I bet him at the 3M, Rick. I saw those eye-popping putting and iron stats.
Yes.
That being said, you talk through this event and its history and this course, and you see guys are able to win without being the strongest putters. That be, on the other side of it, I feel like I'm just a hamster in a cage trying to get a piece of cheese on the other side of an electric fence, because we talk about when betting these guys, we really do need the absolute spike weeks from them. And we get that from Morikawa. Even before Morikawa was priced like 20-1, like we got the spike weeks. Sergio, it's like you're just begging the 38th in the field in putting, and that'll get you to a position on Sunday afternoon. So like, I don't know. I'm totally going against what we feel like we probably need there, but the iron play has been unconscious. It has been absolutely unconscious. I am going back to the well. I have made that bet.
Sergio Garcia led the field in strokes gained tee to green at the 3M Open by a large margin. He also lost 7.5 strokes putting, which is why he finished T25, I think it was, or something like that. He is also 70-1 at Bet365. Okay, Geoff. I mean, I'm happy to kind of live certainly well above this range. I've got a little bit of interest in Sam Burns because I think he has the firepower at 80-1, but I'm not thrilled about it. I probably won't get there, and I probably won't get there on anybody lower than these guys.
Yeah, I really don't know that I will get there again. I think I'm going to just try to live in that like 20 to 30-1 range and just throw, maybe 2 or 3 haymakers and have my Sergio bet. I mean, that's just what WGCs historically have told us. There are a lot of guys back there. I just don't know if this is a big one. If they would pull it off in the end, but
yeah, history says those guys can finish third. They can finish fourth. Winning is tough to do at these ones. So it has historically been, yes, as you mentioned, just the top tier of top tier players who win. So I agree. We'll live in that range. Okay, Geoff, I think that'll do it, brother. We are talking WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. That's Geoff Fienberg. I'm Rick Gehman. Best of luck this week, and we'll catch you next time.